Welcome to the L Spot Show. I'm your host, Jessica Lanice. On today's show, we will be discussing the pros and cons of being in the entertainment industry. Then we will have our guest, Lil Nat, who is a television host, actress, journalist, and so much more. Join us today to let us know what she is up to. But first, let's go to my co-host, Camille J, to see what are some of the pros and cons of the entertainment industry.
The entertainment industry is one of the hardest industries to make it in. Aside from the politics, it's one of the most grittiest, down and dirtiest, toughest industries to be a part of. Most people see all the glamour like red carpets and photo shoots, nice cars and nice clothes. And all that stuff is great and all, trust me. But there's so much more to it than just that. How about the long hours? This is a 24/7 industry. There is no off switch. Sometimes it means sacrificing sleep, holidays, or family time. And then you have to be on your P's and Q's at all times because someone is always watching. You have to stay active, current, and popping. Otherwise, your moments of fame can end just like that. And lastly, no celebrity has made it on their own. There's a whole team behind them, guiding and sometimes dictating their every move. You may have to give up your freedom. And these people are not working for free. If you're making money, then so is everyone else. It's tough, but it's also fun, entertaining, and different every day. So I guess it depends on your preference. Let's head out to my co-host Jessica Lanice to see what she thinks are the best and worst parts of this entertainment industry.
So Camille, these, trends about the pros and cons of the entertainment industry is so true. And today we have our guest, Lil Nat, who's actually been in the entertainment industry for a few years. She's a vet in this, and I know she has so much to share with us about the pros and the cons.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thanks
today.
for having me, ladies.
So being in the entertainment industry, you're a radio personality, you're a TV host, you've done so many things. What are some of we're going to start with the cons, like the bad.
Yeah.
What were some of the cons, getting into this industry for you?
I would have to say networking, meeting a lot of great people, learning, the parties, the fun times, the giveaways, T-shirts.
These are
stuff
the bad
like that.
parts.
Well, the bad parts are...
Okay, so those were the pros.
Those are the pros. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You did say cons, but I was just thinking of all the fun stuff.
The
first.
parties, yes.
The parties,
the parties.
But the cons of bad stuff, I would have to say, like, being a woman first, being an African-American woman, because it's a male-dominant business, so we have to work a lot harder to prove that we can do this job, and also being African-American also is 2 times more. So just to prove that we can do the job that a man can do, especially certain jobs like production, engineering, those are really managing. Those are really like men job. DJing even, being a DJ on the turntables. Like now there's female DJs coming up and doing their thing. But when I started out, it was only like a handful. So also like, paychecks.
Right.
That's so true.
Not getting paid enough, not getting paid at all.
Not getting paid at all.
Losing sleep.
Right.
I heard you mention something about like sacrificing holidays, family time, even personal time. Like you don't never get that personal time to like take a nap, get your hair done, get your nails done. You kind of like learn how to do that on your own.
You're really on 24/7. Your phone's ringing constantly. You have to do this, have to do that. So it is a lot that you're doing. And I like what you said earlier about like being a woman in the industry, and it's definitely tough. You have to have tough skin.
Yes.
You have to have major tough skin. Being in this industry, being in New York in this industry, nobody is gonna come like hold your hand and bring you up. You do have to get your own hand and pull your own self up. The networking is a big part of it, and you can't be shy.
No,
you can't.
And you have to learn your business. You have to know the core of what you're doing.
Right.
Everybody's titles, everybody's positions. It's a chess move. You have to know what everyone's doing, how it comes together, because ignorance is not good in this business.
Right.
And you can be out in a second.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
You can be out. Someone's always looking to replace you. Somebody's there working hard right behind you. So it's not one of those jobs that, okay, we'll give you your 2 weeks notice and you're going to be like, don't come back tomorrow.
Not
we don't need
entertainment.
you anymore. Don't come back tomorrow.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
there's so many people. It's like kind of like there's a lot of people that's trying to do entertainment or just be in the entertainment industry in general. And there's so much competition in a way. I hate to use the word competition because I feel like everyone could be a part of it, which is true. But in reality, we do have to realize it is some sort of competition where it's like, who's going to be the best host? Who's going to be the best music artist? Like, it's never really...
And who's going to make that person that money at that time?
And who's hungry? Who's hungry
and humble?
Who's gonna stay up 24/7? Who's gonna give up their hair appointment or give up Christmas with their family to go handle business? Because if you're not willing to do it, someone else behind you is. So you have to make sure
take a pay cut to do it.
And you have to make sure you're hungry all the time.
All the time.
You can't lose when you lose that hunger. It's downhill.
And you got to be humble too. You really, this business can make you an ugly person sometimes, and you can turn into this like crazy, ugly, nobody wants to be around you. But you still got to have some type of good personality too, because at the same time, you don't want to be this person that nobody want to work around, but you also want to be a nice person that they do want to work around. So you got to know when to be tough and stern, and when to be nice and sweet.
No,
and now that you said people want to work around. This industry is huge, but it is so small.
Yes.
So small. You make one wrong move around the wrong person and everybody knows about it and no one else, you're blacklisted. No one wants to work with you anymore. So we were talking about, having a tough skin. And so one of the things that I noticed, like myself trying to get up in this industry is like you get a lot of no's. You get a lot of no's before you get that yes, but you have to make sure that you don't let that stop you or let that break you, because there's gonna, even when you make it, you're still gonna hear a lot of no's.
I have a story to tell. When I first interned at Hot 97, and I was trying to get on the air, and I was doing part-time shifts out of state, and I was running the boards and answering the phones and doing all the stuff for the DJs. I used to practice my air checks, and air checks is a tape that you, like a demo tape that you do to get on the radio. And at the program director at the time, we used to call her Ice Cream, Tracy Gordy, and she would always tell me, oh, you're never gonna be good enough to be on Hot. You're never gonna be good enough to be on Hot. Because back then it was like all about the biggest names, who can bring in the ratings on the air. Very few people that started from the bottom got a chance to get on. So I came to her one day like, look, I don't need to get on Hot 97. There's a lot of stations in the United States that I can go to. I know you as a professional program director, as a woman, you can guide me and tell me what I need to do to perfect my demo so I can take it somewhere else. And that's exactly what she did. She respected me from that point because she thought that I was just going to go in there and think that I was going to get on right away. And that's what a lot of interns do. They they don't really realize that you got to work your way up to the top. But I put my work in, and companies, people get fired left and right. I saw people come in and out, and I was still working there, moved my way up. And when she left, Ebro became program director, music director, and he hired me.
Wow.
So for her to tell me I would never be on, that was just my drive to say, look, I don't have to be on here. I can be on anywhere. I might not be on when you're there.
Yeah, and look, you made it anyway. So
exactly.
Absolutely. You just have to keep going.
You have to have a tough skin in this business because people will tell you all kinds of stuff to keep you down. But you got to stay focused and want it. You got to want it.
Can we talk about like the creative control? It's like something that like me as being in the entertainment industry, as like in journalism and stuff, but then also on the other side, the dancing, I don't like the fact that when you sign to, like you get a manager or you have all these people working to create your image essentially, but then it's like that is your image and now it's like you're almost like a robot. Like so many people are controlling you, telling you this is what you need to do in order to get this. Like you almost lose the creative control anymore. Now what I find what happens to so many people is like what they used to love to do is now becoming like literally a job, and they're taking instruction from other people. So how do you guys feel about that? Like getting into the industry and now having so many people in charge that you lose your creative control?
Well, I'm going to say it from a publicist standpoint because, most publicists are known to like brand their clients and get their image right. For me, how I work, because the people are different, I work where I ask you, what do you like to do, what you love to do. Of course, as you grow as a person, you're going to change, but I kind of just adjust around it, but still make it clean. So like, let's say if you are a little sloppy with certain things, but that's who you are, I'm going to find a way to clean it up a little bit. But I do get the, you know, that there are people or managers or publicists that saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I think it just has to be the talent, responsibility to say, hey, this is what I'm not willing to do. And saying, hey, this is what I like to do. But I think it's because these people are professionals, absolutely, and they are trying to guide you a certain way, but let's try to put it in a way that it will work for that individual, because everyone is different. Everyone is creative in their own way.
And the thing that's crazy is, like, in today's day and age, you literally have to be on all the time, though. You don't get to be like, hey, this is what I'm going to do for my image. I'm going to be politically correct right now. And then when I get to go home, I could relax. But now we're, like, on social media all the time, and there's the internet. You can't walk to the corner store, like, in your flip-flops and your head tie, because guess what? That is going to be everywhere.
Not to cut you off, I think that it goes back to what you said, Jessica. It goes back to, like, the individual. Like, if you are grounded and you have faith and you believe in yourself, your image shouldn't be that far away from your personality.
Right.
Where you feel like somebody is telling you how to be who you are.
Right.
You should already have some type of, like, this is how I want to be, this is how I want to carry myself, this is how my image should be. It should only be, a PR should only tweak you. To make you better, but they can't make you better. You have to make yourself. Because, you know, if you want to go to the store with a baseball cap and flip-flops on your off day, it should be okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then if anything,
I know what you're saying. People taking pictures.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to that tough skin. Like, look, this is my off day, and I'm just like you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
The humanizing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the society is almost like these people can't be human sometimes. We dehumanize them and put them, like, on a pedestal.
Exactly.
But in a way, I think right now we are allowing people to be themselves. Like, you do see the people with their, you know, baseball caps or their head
like
ties.
on Snapchat and stuff.
Yeah, and I think I like that because it shows, like, okay, you don't always have to be on. And, of course, it starts waking people up. Like, okay, when you see them on TV, that's their job.
Right.
Yeah, and they are humans.
Right, when they're off of work, they are just like you. So it kind of makes you feel more connected in a way.
Not only that, some of the celebrities, I'm not going to mention any names, but when they get caught in that image thing, it's sounding like they don't know when to shut it off. So they get lost in what is real and what is not. And you kind of don't want to lock somebody in a certain image. Like I said, it shouldn't be too far from who you are personally.
That's definitely true.
So what are some of the pros? Like, what are
let's
the
get
fun
to the
stuff?
good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I did mention it earlier because I was all excited to talk about it. But the good stuff is, you know, you get to see yourself grow. You know, you get to move up, especially if you want to run your own PR company or your own TV show. You can see it grow. You meet great people.
That's what I was gonna say. I love, like, the meeting.
Yeah, the
meeting
network.
So many people. We can go. We're in New York. We could go to LA and they're like, hey, I know
see
you.
them there. Yeah, at an event or something.
I love the events. I'm like the party girl, loving to go out, any type of event, fashion show, dance shows, concerts. I love those type of things. It makes it, like, it makes all the stuff that we were talking about before worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because it is fun. It's fun. Once you put in the work in, once you do all that, the nitty gritty, it is fun. So, I mean, and you have to enjoy it to want to be here. Otherwise,
oh my God, that is the key.
You're
you just hit it.
Like drowning.
You're
drowning.
love what you
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You should have fun enjoying what you do. Ladies, like, this was amazing, talking about the pros and cons of entertainment. Like, we're in it, we're doing this, we're still growing, like, we're new at this. Like, Lil Nat, you've been in it for a while, and I'm pretty sure, like, you still have so much more.
Oh yeah, it's so much more I
share.
want to do, or so much more growing that I want to do. But I mean, everybody have their time, and it takes a day-to-day process. So, you know, just growing business.
Well,
We grow all the
absolutely.
time.
And we're going to find out a little bit more of what you have coming up in our next segment.
So we are back on the L Spot Show with our guest, Lil Nat. So earlier we were talking about the pros and cons, but now we want to know more about you and your journey through the entertainment industry.
All right. So my first journey was dancing, actually.
Yes.
Yes. I was ballerina. I went to LaGuardia Performing Arts High School. I went to NYU for dance, and then I sprained my ankle freshman year. And I just heard my mother say, "You gotta still stay at school. You need something to fall back on." And I love radio. I wasn't even a TV person or film person. I was like, I always listened to the radio. I wanted to see what that was like, and I found out NYU had one of the #1 underground radio stations, 89.1 FM, where all hip hop legends started. So I was like, great, I could work at this station. So I majored in film, television, and radio. I just switched my major, stopped dancing, which was my passion, but I thought I could do both, and I couldn't because the film and the radio, you know, I had to do too much.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
But Camille is doing
it's a lot. You still dancing?
Yeah, I went to college and I did same thing, like broadcast, radio, and TV, and then dance on the side.
It was a lot because then trying to do rehearsals and perform, and then film and do your film projects and radio show. It was way too much, and NYU standards was like way too high. So I was like, one half to go.
You gotta keep those grades up.
Yeah, you got girl, please. So then I got an internship at Kiss FM before it was owned by MS. MS owns Hot 97 and Kiss FM now. It's BLS, right, and LIB. And I started in promotions, and I just kept moving myself up.
You started promotions as like street team.
Street team,
like entry
level. And then I did an exchange program in North Carolina. I got a little part-time job at a radio station down there and came back, graduated, got a part-time job doing production, which is producing the commercials for the station. Then I was running the boards, which is producing radio shows with Flex and Lisa Evers, and just the list goes far. And then training people. Then I was a morning assistant producer for Isaac Hayes and Friends on Kiss.
Wow.
Until eventually I became on the air.
Can we talk about, so you said that you were working with like Lisa Evers and Flex, and Flex is like one of the New York radio pioneers, and one of the DJs back then. So can you tell me what the vibe was like then, like when Hot 97 is like, you know, really hot?
It was, I have to say that was the best time. The 90s was the best time, and I know y'all calculating my age. But it was the best time because it was new, it was fresh. Because when I was growing up, the only time we heard hip-hop was on Friday night, Saturday night, Mr. Magic, Chuck Chill Out, Red Alert. That was it. During the week, there was no hot hip-hop playing. Pop stations didn't play any hip-hop. They didn't think that music was going to go anywhere. So then when Hot 97 came on the scene, and this was all because of Funk Master Flex, by the way.
Wow.
They put him in on, it was like a pop station at the time, and they were like, you're gonna play hip hop at this time. And he was playing it, and he said, anytime any white boys called up, I would just play whatever they wanted to play. And they would just say, yo, you just play this song. And he'll just play whatever they wanted, but it was always a hip hop song.
Wow.
And then that's how Hot 97 gradually changed their format. And it was the greatest time because all of the big name, Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas, you name it, they were there, and they were like happening.
And since you're saying like they didn't have anywhere, we didn't have anywhere else to listen to, so that means the ratings must have been crazy because everyone has to listen to Hot 97. So the managers, the people running Hot 97 had no choice but to be like, yo, we gotta get this.
And they made so much money. That's why Summer Jam became so huge. No one else was playing strictly hip hop.
And that's why Funk Flex ain't leaving. He was like, yo.
Well, they wouldn't let him go. Like,
even
why
now,
would you?
Even now, he, like, people say he's like arrogant and whatever, but like that's people that don't know the history and don't know his history.
And don't know him really, because he's a character actually. He's not really like that. I'm not trying to tell you secrets, Flex, but he's a businessman first.
Okay.
I mean, it makes you want to tune in.
Right.
It makes you want to tune in. You gotta hear those bombs.
Yeah, he's very good at what he does. Very good. But it was just like everybody grew together. Mary J. Blige grew up with Hot 97, Andrew Martinez. And it brought a community together that no one thought would happen.
Right.
And it forced other stations to have to play hip hop if they was going to compete, if they was going to get these advertising dollars. At the end of the day, it's all a money game.
Right. So how did Lil Nat contribute to that?
I was mostly behind the scenes then. I used to do the live
Very
broadcast.
important job,
Right.
Yeah, I did the live broadcast at Summer Jam. You know how you would hear it on the radio if you didn't have tickets? I was the one engineering that behind the scenes. I would produce commercials that go on the radio. The little sweepers that says, Hot 97, we got your tickets live. I created some of those. Produced the shows. Like I said, I used to run Flex's Board, K Slay I used to work for. I trained some of the DJs and the personalities.
You had a lot of hands there.
Right.
Yeah, and I touched in different departments. The
Yeah.
only department I didn't touch on was sales and the business part, HR.
So I know, so you took the things that you learned at Hot 97 and all that, your growth, and then you moved on to...
My own show,
Yeah,
yes.
so talk about that.
Well, while I was on Hot 97 and on Kiss on the overnights, I met Knowledge, who is my right, left hand, right foot, left foot.
Yes, shout out to Knowledge. Yes.
And he asked to interview me on his show at the time at DTF Radio. And it took a minute, but I finally got there. And then when Kiss FM was sold, when Emmett sold, money went down, they had to sell one of the stations. I was one of the personalities that got a big check and was asked to leave. And I was like, I really love doing this radio thing. And internet radio was growing a lot. So I said to Knowledge, you mind doing a radio show with me? I want you to be my producer. He was like, all right, cool. So we just started doing it. And then it's grown now. We are on 3 different stations now. We're going to work on my cooking show.
Nice.
We go on different events. We interview whoever we want. We don't have to have a program director tell us what to play, who to bring on the air.
So I want to get into that because that gets into the conversation we were having earlier versus when you're at Hot 97, it's a bigger company, so you have a lot more people instructing you what to do. So how did you feel being in that environment versus the environment where you're in control and you're basically dictating however you want things to go?
Well, there's good and bad on both sides. Working with mainstream radio, I would love to get back on the mainstream radio. You know what I mean? It's a nice check.
Right.
It's medical benefits. and you don't have to grind as hard, but if I do go back on mainstream radio, I will still keep my independent radio show because I'm my own boss there. I get to choose who I want on my show. I get to choose what DJs I want on my show because we are given a platform for those that won't get that interview on mainstream radio.
Right.
True.
And I like that side of it.
Yeah, there's something definitely fulfilling about that. And I think that's the same thing while we're doing this. We are a show on public access, but it's so important to us to make sure that we give people that limelight or that platform to share their story because just because they're not in the mainstream doesn't mean they don't have a story.
And you would be surprised how many people that are on the mainstream that still don't get that Hot 97 interview or that Z100 interview.
So true. Yeah.
Because to them, their audience is not interested. So again, it's a numbers game, it's a population game, it's that money game. So it's all about catching that ratings, catching that money to get those advertising dollars, and it is what it is. But I mean, both sides is good, both sides is bad. Because when you work on your own, like you ladies know, you got to grind harder. You got to work
you're
harder.
Everything.
Right.
You're everything.
The producer right now. Then you're the marketing team.
You're the
then
makeup person. You're the hair person.
Yeah.
We was just telling my interns today, when you work with us, you're gonna learn everything. You're gonna learn how to edit. You're gonna learn how to take pictures. You're gonna learn how to meet and greet your guests.
Yeah.
You're gonna know how to go to different events and what it takes. You're gonna know how to do sales. You're gonna do everything.
Right.
Because when you are your own business, you have to do everything.
It's your baby. So
Right.
it's like you gotta take care of it and you gotta do all the jobs, everything that it needs. But me personally, I do like that because I feel that you working in a small business, you get more experience.
Yeah, you do.
Because you have to play so many parts and you have to do so many roles and you have to do it well.
And you have to do well.
So I think I like that aspect of it. Of course, it is hard working and you do have to grind really, really hard. But then it's fulfilling because you see what your hard work has done. So I enjoy it.
And to me, I think I met more people while I'm doing my own radio show than I did when I was on Hot 97. To be honest with you.
I think you leave a different mark. Personally, I feel like I leave a different mark. Like, people know me from the L Spot show. Like, hey, that's Camille from the L Spot show, because they see us grinding so hard. They see, like, the behind the scenes. If I'm like, I do have another job, but I don't have to do the behind the scenes for that. Nobody even really knows that I am even doing anything for that, because it's like I'm working hard there, but you're not doing the same type of grind as you're doing when it's your thing. So I'm going out, when people see, or when I'm out networking, I'm like, yeah, hey, I'm Camille, this is me. I have my show on Brick TV, whatever, or Brooklyn Free Speech. I'm not saying, oh, hey, I also work at this other job. Like, you're talking about your thing, the thing you care about. So I think it's a little different. You leave a little different mark. They see that hunger that we were talking about earlier. Like, they're like, oh yeah, that girl from the L Spot show, I remember her. She was hungry. She made sure she mentioned the L Spot show like 3 or 4 times when she was talking to me.
It's all about that marketing and branding.
So what's next for Lil Nat?
Wow. What's immediately next right now, my son going to college.
Oh my God.
He's a senior in high school, and he's getting his acceptance letters and scholarships. So that's what's happening come this June.
So just before we go, let everyone know where they can tune in for Digital Empire Nation.
Okay. Well, we are on dtfradio.com every Thursday night from 7 to 9. We're also on frplive.tv if you can't log on to DTF Radio. In LA, One West Radio 107 FM, but look forward to us being into Kokomo's, Indiana, because we're going to be on Power 104 there, and we're working some negotiations with a station in England. So we're trying to do.
Congrats! Yes.
We had a lot to get off our chest about the entertainment industry, which has its pros and cons. Thank you to our guest, Lil Nat, for sharing with us some of her pros and cons, and for sharing about her personal journey.
To stay updated with what's happening with our guests, our hosts, and the show, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The L Spot Show. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, The L Spot Show, to see our latest episodes and some unseen footage.
Thank you to our production team. I cannot believe this is our second to last episode with you guys. I want to cry.
Crazy.
But to our viewers, thank you for watching, and make sure you too network and be recognized. See you next week.